What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Lore Reloaded. Always a pleasure to see you guys, see you wonderful people here. A couple of things. Check me out at twitter.com/lore reloaded. I am devastatingly underfollowed there, though. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. As I have said time and time again, I am myself on twitter.com. Twitter.com/lore reloaded. So just because you like my breakdowns of Star Trek, just because you enjoy what I do on this channel, doesn't mean we're always going to agree, especially politically. That's the fantastic thing about Star Trek. Regardless of what you may have read, we can all agree on different things. So if you're going to get triggered that way, then definitively don't go there. But if you have a thicker skin, feel free to check me out. Also, twitch.tv/lore reloaded. I'm doing some things where I'm going through entire segments of a game that I intend to break down and do a lore breakdown of. So we've been having some fun over there. So twitch.tv/lore reloaded. What is going on, everybody? Of course, Vovacat in the house. My favorite owl waifu. I mean, is there really any other waifu beyond an owl one? Is there really? We got Bird of Prey in the house. We also got Phoenix 1861, Lee Johnston. Seth MacFarlane is the future of Star Trek. That is not going to happen. Seth MacFarlane and NBC are not going to buy Star Trek. NBC doesn't even have the resources to buy Star Trek. Now, if maybe we were talking about Disney or an entity of that nature, then maybe there might be a chance of the IP being purchased. But yeah, there's no way. NBC could not reasonably afford Star Trek. So I do not see that happening under any circumstances. We'll give it a little bit, see if anyone comes in. I haven't done these in a while, so if no one shows up, I will not be surprised. Ultimately, I picked a topic, but we really can go to whatever you guys want to discuss. At the end of the day, I guess it was just interesting to me because a lot of the discussions are around Star Trek, right? Around Starfleet. What Starfleet is, what Starfleet should do, and where Starfleet's going. And ultimately, I think Discovery and Picard are coming together. We're about to see the destruction of Starfleet. And that makes a lot of people angry. Could Netflix buy Disney? No, I don't think Netflix could get anywhere near purchasing Disney. I do think Disney could buy Netflix, though. I think that could happen. Honestly, that would probably be their best bet. They don't even have to do Disney Plus anymore. Just use the infrastructure that is Netflix, which would be interesting. I wonder. I wonder if that came up, if Disney considered that. But the intriguing thing here, the intriguing piece when it comes to Starfleet is, and I've said this before, I'm not confident that there is enough storylines done in a way that audiences will watch that we could continue something like the Next Generation or a Voyager or even an Enterprise. Deep Space Nine would be a tough sell as well. And so the investigation of Starfleet and the Federation being destroyed is interesting, and it's new. So I don't know that it's a bad I don't know that that's a bad way to go, honestly. The more I think about it, and I get, what's up, Geralt? My channel loves you, sir. My channel loves you. I do understand that a lot of people who are nostalgic, who grew up with the original series, not wanting to see Starfleet destroyed, is kind of a bad way to end it. If you believe that it should always be a happy-go-lucky story, I get that, and I think there's merit there. But if you're going to continue it, and you want to bring in new audiences, and you want to do something that isn't boring, to be honest, it's an interesting concept. By the way, Don Juan, I think Al Waifu was fine. So on stuff like that, just let that through. It's not a big deal. I'm not mad or anything, but definitely approve it next time. Al Wei Fu said Starfleet should be considered to be a scary organization with an F-ton of war-capable ships and captains, especially after the Dominion War. I would agree, Al Wei Fu, but, and here's the point here, I think that once Starfleet starts moving more into a, I don't know that I want to say imperialist, but definitely a military-focused organization, we would start to see it degrade. And I think that there is a, I think you could make an interesting story, an interesting arc, an interesting story where what kept Starfleet and the Federation alive was its pacifism. Think about it. It almost defies logic how Starfleet and the Federation continued to exist, but somehow this hope for the future allowed it to thrive. And then you have the Borg and the Dominion, and so many people lost and so much destruction that it turns into a military organization, and then it starts degrading like we see the Romulan Star Empire, like we see the Klingon Empire, like we see the Dominion. And so I think it could be an interesting story and even a meta-analysis on how being peaceful or being hopeful, while it has its flaws, may actually help something thrive. And then you can even go further into that and have the discussion. Well, ultimately, something like that is going to be challenged and force them to become militaristic, which then will lead down the realm of destruction. So can you even have a peaceful... You see how this could be a good conversation, an interesting story arc? What's going on, Jeff Franklin? They should use Star Trek Picard to make Star Trek The Return, then use that to do a Starfleet Civil War. Kirk was Kirk was one side and Picard on the other. I don't know that they should go back in time or anything. It might be interesting to have a civil war. The Federation and Starfleet remaining the same after their experiences during the Dominion War would be unrealistic. I agree. I don't, and if Starfleet at any point seems too pacifistic, that is something I think I'll be deeply critical of. I think that the Dominion War would absolutely impact them in both negative and positive ways. I do think that we'd lose a little bit of that hope, that future that Gene Roddenberry wanted. And there's just no way around it. You would, if you want it to stay happy-go-lucky, you have to remove Deep Space Nine. You have to say that that's not canon. Why would the Federation leave a Borg cube to itself after Janeway brought it back from the Delta Quadrant? Why would the Federation leave a Borg cube to itself? I don't think Janeway brought that cube back unless you know something that I don't. The cube itself, maybe it's in Romulan territory and the Federation are being, or Starfleet is being isolationist. Maybe Starfleet now with all of Voyager's updated tech isn't really concerned about the Borg. They're just another type of power. If that's the case, then and again, even if you look at the humanitarian piece to it, why would Starfleet create a war with the Romulan Free State to take the Borg cube from them when on the face of it, the Romulan Free State appears to just want to be helping people? I assume that the cube came back at the end of Voyager. I don't think it did. I think that cube was probably always in there. And when Janeway did what she did, it got disconnected from the collective, is the way I read it. We honestly don't know where it's from. I know there's a new, what's the word I'm looking for, people? There is a new, oh my God, advertisement. Or spot that says that it's an artifact and that's lost and stuff. I think that's Dodge being Dodge is what that is. Did they blow up the cube after Voyager in the transwarp conduit on their way to Earth in the finale? Oh, that's right. There was another Borg cube, but that Borg cube was actually going back into the Delta Quadrant. So I don't think so. Derek, it could be Hughes cube. They could try to say that it's Hughes cube. They could try to go that way. That is a huge stretch like massively so. I can see that, but that would be just cringe to me. Hugh's cube was found by lore and all but gutted and destroyed based on dialogue. So that would be some continuity retconning as well. So I wouldn't like that. I'm not going to get too upset about it, but it shouldn't be his cube. This morning class is earlier and earlier, but it is a good class. Well, Zachriel, I try to do it when I can, good sir, when I can. The Federation Civil War, at one side, the nostalgic commanded by Picard, and the military ones directed by Janeway. Albert Cruzado. So, by the way, that's a good point. 63 people watching, only 19 likes. Hit that like button, people. Don't be scared of it. Let's get this conversation going. Let's get more people out here. I don't know that I'd want it to be Janeway. I don't know that I'd want it to be Cisco. I don't know who I would want to be on the opposite side, but I think you could do a Federation Civil War and make it similar to the Marvel Civil War, only with actual impact, because that had no consequence to it. And have two parties that were friends, that respected each other, that didn't want to fight, but ultimately felt like they had to. I think that could be an intriguing and interesting way of doing a civil war. I don't know that they'll go the Civil War route. I think that if they're going to destroy the Starfleet, it's going to be from within, and there's not going to be a lot of pomp and circumstance. They could Battlestar Galactica it. I could definitively see that. And a lot of people will get pissed off. Honestly, the problem is, I guess, with me and detractors of Star Trek Picard and looking at Starfleet, I have always seen Starfleet in the light the way the writers are writing so far. Starfleet has always had corruption issues. It has always had problems with its own internal consistency and the Prime Directive from the original series on. Now, out of the universe, in the real life, the reason they did this is because the heroes needed something to fight against. And, there is a trope where you fight against the inner workings of your organization to make it better. So, and they were one-offs, and they were never meant to necessarily show or be a consistency. But that's the way it is. It does present a consistency. It does create continuity. And I am a huge fan of Death of the Author, and I think that the work should stand on its own. And so when you look at it in those steps, people get pissed off about it, but it's true. Starfleet has never really had their stuff together. They have always had internal problems. They have always had bigotry to one line or another. Starfleet has always been willing to back off, even if it wasn't the right thing to do. Luckily, there were captains like Picard, like Kirk, like even Lorca, the Mirror Universe Lorca, who were there to make the right thing be done. And people just don't like that. People get pissed off, but it is what it is. Your argument is with the writers of a Star Trek, not me. Who's calling me? It's too early for that mess. Well, now we'll get to see if Starfleet was messed up from within by a parasite Goa'ildish symbiote or on its own. I don't think they'll go. I think they'll go Romulans if they go any kind of thing. I think Hydra is still an option. I think Hydra is what's going to happen. I don't think it'll be like a parasite or the Bluegills or anything like that. I thought Jerk Admiral is a big established trope in Trek. Yeah, but that's the thing. So if you look, it's so intriguing. Like on my breakdown, let me go take a look at it real quick. So when you look at why was Starfleet ever truly not racist? Obviously, that was done. It was done in a way to get people to click, to create conversation. Honestly, if you deliver on what you're talking about, I don't think clickbait is bad. I just don't. Clickbait just gets your attention, and as long as you deliver on what you put the title as in the thumbnail, I don't think it's a bad thing. And so, yes, it was provocative, and I bring up racism in the discussion on it, but I think that it's true. I think that you always had admirals. You always had dignitaries, people high within the Federation that were not above board. That at the crew level, at the ship level, you had honor and integrity, but once they got people into that, the machinations of the Admiralty, of the Starfleet Command, once you went into the system, you started to be changed. And I think that's just clear as day, honestly. Bird of Prey 5, Risa versus Earth Civil War. Risa learns about #MeToo. That's awful. That's awful. Why are you... Why, sir? Why? By the way, just so you guys know, you can go to lorereloaded.com, check out some of the things that are being funded. That's going to be updated today or tomorrow. Any donations you do can go towards funding a project you want to see come up quicker, or a project that I wouldn't normally do, but you want to see, like Shane Dawson's makeup. So check it out. And Bird of Prey, if you want me to put that somewhere, let me know. DWMT, we know James Doohan has passed on, but do you think Scotty could still be alive somewhere during Star Trek Picard? It's possible. I just need to update those. I have not done it. See, I need to extend it. It's possible given the technology, but probably, no, I think Scotty's gone. I think he would have died by then. I mean, they can live 100+ years, but it's not insane. By the way, and again, lorereloaded.com, DWOMT, let me know where you want that to go. I'll definitely have it funded. Also, Sean becoming a member. Hey, if you don't like Patreon, if you think Patreon is god-awful, definitely go down and check in the YouTube membership and hit that little join button. Best way of getting out of Patreon. Then you don't have to worry about it. Video is not glitching on my side. I know there has been some issues, but from what I can see, looks good. I know that YouTube will sometimes glitch out, but my side, everything looks good. So if anyone else is having it, let me know. Starfleet is on those young ensigns coming out of the... Starfleet is on those young ensigns coming out of the academy today have no idea how good they have it. Okay. Scotty has an emergency engineering hologram. Well, that would just be disrespectful right there. That'd be disrespectful in universe and out of universe. That would be horrific. I hope to God they don't do that. I know Star Trek Online did that with Stamets, but no, they shouldn't do that. That's bad. Scotty was old by the time they brought him back from ad hoc transport stasis, so I'd assume he'd be dead. Yeah, he'd be so ancient, it would be unrealistic. Anyway, last week I finished Star Trek Discovery. It was a pretty good series, had some glaring problems, but good mother. Well, Wargamer 2099, that is probably not the first time you've ever been wrong in your life. Just probably that devastatingly wrong. Well, Zach, real? I mean, if you want him to be an emergency engineering hologram, you can. That's on you, buddy. Thank you so much. By the way, you can actually hear yourself if you decide to do PayPal. PayPal, I'll send the link in just a second, is actually quite a bit better because YouTube takes 30% of everything you give me. If you do what JJMFDL just did, you can send me the money. I get all of it, and you get to hear your voice. Plus, it's snazzy. It's brand new. Let me see. There's a way to share a link in here somewhere. I'm just gonna have to find it. So thank you so much, by the way, JJMFDL. If you want that to go towards something, definitely let me know, buddy. Let me know. All right, so, oh hell, that's gonna bug me. I don't know where the thing to share the streaming thing is. With as much as I love listening to your voice, I figured you should join you. Your opinions are your own and are very closely related to mine when it comes to Star Trek. With as much as I love listening to your voice, I figured I should join you. Okay, well, rock it out, Sean. Scotty is in some of the books and novels post-TNG Relics, so I don't see why he couldn't be alive. The reason why he couldn't be alive is it's like 90 years past that, so he'd be 200 plus, which is outside of the scope of when we see the humans, how long humans last. Humans generally don't live that long. So that would be outside of the scope of what we've seen before. Here it is. Sorry, guys, this has been bugging me. I'm horrible at doing this online thing. There it is. If you wanted to give that way. Are you going to cover Star Trek Discovery Season 3 when it comes out? I am, in fact, Wargamer. I am, in fact, going to do that. Here's the thing when it comes to Discovery Season 3. And a lot of people get upset about this too, which is always interesting to me. It is always intriguing to me. It's always interesting when I talk about how I do have a little bit of bias for Discovery that I have to fight. Because Discovery, when they first started, they were heavily political. They lied. They outright lied about what the show is going to be about and what it is. And so when I think about Discovery 3, or Discovery Season 3, I don't get mad. I'm not angry. I don't have a negative bent. I'm literally lukewarm on it. I just expect that they're not going to do anything that interests me. And so while I am going to be doing a breakdown and stuff, I think it's important to say that. Now, a lot of people get mad. They're like, "Oh my God, you have a bias that you're admitting." I mean, it makes people. This is why people lie on YouTube. Most people lie to you. They're not as happy or as angry as they appear to be, but they can't ever be honest because people just go fucking crazy about it. But I will be doing a breakdown of Discovery 3, but I have to just be completely forward with you guys and say that I don't think it's going to impact my analysis of it, but it is there. DWMT, fund your channel. You and Trek Yards are my go-to for Trek talk. Everyone else is stuck with nostalgia glasses on. Thanks for what you do, man. I try. Thanks, WMT. I try to be as fair as I can be. And going back to that, though, if they ever did a DS9 series, it would be very hard not to just love it instantly, just on spec, because DS9 is awesome. Discovery is still on TV. The Great Kitty's left the chair. By the way, guys, again, if you wanted to go somewhere else, just let me know. Definitely hit that like button. There are 92 people watching Continual Track and only 39 likes. What the hell? Discovery is still on TV, Don Juan. You see, people will sit there and say that Discovery is going to be canceled and nobody likes it and it's just burning money and stuff. And yet, season after season after season, in fact, I forget the name of it, but the insiders, the people who are in the business, those type of articles, who write those articles and stuff, those, what's it called? We'll say magazines, but that's not the right word. Those types of platforms where film students like me would be interested in reading has said that there is a season 4 coming out. So that'll be fantastic. Star Trek Cisco. Yeah, if there was a Star Trek Cisco, I don't think they'll do it, though. I would love it. If Star Trek Picard's was 90 years after Relics, Picard himself wouldn't be alive. It's only about 20 to 25 years. First off, I do think Picard would probably still be alive. You can live into mid 150 or on, and he would show that. It's longer than 25 to 30 years, though. And even then, I think it's too old for Scotty. Scotty was at 125, 150, wasn't he? He was pretty old. Continuum Trek, you always have to assume there's going to be more. So when you say 88, just basically, put 91. Anthony says, truth be told, I'm enjoying Star Trek Discovery. I don't mind Star Trek Discovery. I really don't. If you like Star Trek Discovery, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I sincerely don't. I think that... Hold on, I'm changing this. I think that everyone should enjoy Star Trek the way they enjoy it. I don't like gatekeeping. I personally think that it is... not good. I think that both on a subjective level and a objective level that it's not good. I think that you can criticize a lot about it. But if you like it, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? So calculator. Hold on. Let's do a calculator. He was born in 2222, I'm told. So let's look at that. 22. Why is this not working? Minus 2499. That would make him 277 years old. Way, way outside of the scope of humanity. Way outside. He's not. Well, I don't know when Picard was born. No, he's into the hundreds. The thing about I think he's into the hundreds. I'd have to double check. The thing about Star Trek, though, is that medicine has moved so far that you can have humans get to about 150 or so. Season 2 of Discovery was significantly better than the first, and I have a lot of problems with Discovery, but I thought Pike and the Enterprise was awesome. The Bridge was a nice reimagining. Yeah, so if you have somebody that comes up and takes a knife and stabs you in the eye, and then you have someone who takes a bat and hits you as hard as they can in the leg, you will say that getting hit in the leg was a better experience than getting stabbed in the eye. They're both bad experiences. Please show Laura some love by hitting that like. Please, yes. What are your thoughts on the Discovery Enterprise hologram on Star Trek Picard? I think it's consistent. I think it's the aesthetic. It is not. 2222. Hold on. I did not do my math wrong. Oh, yeah, I did. I did the 26th century. Myso, you're going to get banned. Don't you give me that crap. Don't give me that crap, sir. Like actual math. What are your thoughts on the Discovery Enterprise hologram in Star Trek Picard? I think it's consistent with the aesthetic that they're wanting to go for. I think the Klingons changed. I think all types. Guys, I don't think that's where to hang your hat. They're going to change the aesthetics. Someone asked a question and I missed it. What about Discovery do I enjoy, if anything? You know what? It's $24.99. And if I know anything, I can sit there and yell at the top of my lungs what I think is right. And regardless of what the real world says, that's actually what happened. Discovery is bleeding money. Picard is going down the gutter. Regardless of what reality is, as long as I say that it's true, then it's true. He is over 277 years old. It's starting in $24.99. These are facts. Okay? These are facts. Now, I'm going to try to finish this sentence. I have started 16 different times because I continue getting stopped in the middle of it. You guys do it on purpose. This one person wants me to answer this one question, and I'm still haven't done it. So let's do it. Okay? In fact, I'm going to ban the number $23.99 in my chat and in comments. If you put $23.99, you literally won't be able to do it. So, now, things I liked about Discovery include, but possibly aren't the only things, would be I do like the fact that they attempted something new. Believe it or not. I think that it failed, but I do like the fact that they tried a focus on one character. It's always been ensemble. Star Trek always tries to push the fold. I don't hate that. Lorca was an excellent character until he was destroyed mid-season. The ships are fine. I hate you guys. Now you're doing $23.99 with a little something right next to him. You know what? No. You know what? No words at all. We're gonna ban all conversation. That's just all that's gonna happen. I'm sure that won't destroy my channel. Not my $23.99. Exactly. Not my $23.99. The ships were fine. The technology I don't hate. I think they went a little too far with it, but if there wasn't any continuity issues, if there wasn't any blatant bad political messages, I would probably ignore that for the most part. Uh, and it's something I think they did want to do. We saw them wanting to do it in Deep Space Nine, and I think it would be something they would have done back then. I don't hate. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else in Discovery that I liked? I liked Pike too. Tilly is Bay. I love her character. I know I shouldn't, but I do. Uh, the battles were more realistic. I think I enjoy. I think the battles were done a lot better. I think they were more true. I am CBS. I'm banning all of it. I like the Roman numerals. That's a good way to get around it. You people are ingenious. Time to get a donut. Man, is there anything else I liked about it? I'll be honest with you. In season 3, Michael is hot as hell. I really find her an attractive woman. Um, yeah, that's about it. I don't really think. I think there's so much more wrong with it. But if I had to say there were other things I liked, and they had some good story concepts here and there. It was very sparse, but they had some good story concepts. I don't know anything about the Star Trek Pike series. I haven't heard anything official, and there hasn't been anything in the behind the scenes or anything like that. Is there any? I think I asked that. So where the heck is Lore, Data's evil brother? Lore was specifically shut off and decommissioned. I assumed he was put into pieces or destroyed. A lot of people get upset that we don't see him. I wouldn't be surprised if he does come back. Uh, but I don't think they will, and I don't think there's any reason for them to. 3050 when those evil clanners came back. Do you think the Federation has more advanced technology before the 25th century on Star Trek Online? Do I think the Federation has more advanced technology? Ronnie, can you expand on that? I don't know what you mean. I think that I do think that they have advanced technology. I like the change from the phaser pulses to the beam upgrades that the Enterprise received. Number 1 stole for the final battle. Yeah, that was actually, interestingly enough, they changed that originally, just to not have any fights with the owner with IP holders of Star Wars. I much prefer the phaser emitters, the beams, than I do the actual bolts, personally. Did you get the Dominion War Chintaka video fixed from the blocked video status? You can watch it now. I could have sat there and fought them for 3 days and won. Or I could have just let them remove that clip and it go back up. And that's what I did. I let them remove the clip. I wasn't going to make any money from it anyway because I used that stupid ass song. So I was like, all right, I'll just remove it and let the song maker have the money. Was it lore as code the reason the synthetics went nuts on Mars? Was it lore as code? I don't think so. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the Romulans. If they make it anything other than Romulans, that's a huge red herring that shouldn't exist. That'll be bad writing. But I think it was the Romulans. The trouble with a Pike series is we know Spock and the Enterprise survive and how Pike ends up, so there's no tension. I've always had problems with prequels because of that. I agree. I think there's a lot you can do. But you're right. At the end of the day, unless you do something insane, there's no way to write it because there's no way to be concerned about it because he dies. Now, that said, a lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people can watch something and enjoy it. Titanic, we know how that ends. War movies that are historically accurate, we know how those end. So it's not. You can still enjoy it even if you know how it's going to end. I think lore would be seen as too dangerously unstable to study, and B4 and Data would be preferably study platforms. I agree with that. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they destroyed lore, though. I watched it, but I was wondering if you had to edit the video thing. Yeah, I did. So what happened is I put the video up, and at first there wasn't any issues. CBS came back and said, we want to make money from it, and then the people who did the music said, we want to make money from it. The music thing I felt was fair. CBS I told to go jump off a roof. I did that legally. I didn't actually say that. I said, this is fair use. And they, usually they'll back off. Sometimes they come back and they're like, no, now we're just going to block it. When they do that, usually I challenge them. I say, hey, if it's not going to stay blocked, you can sue me if you want to, and we'll see how well that goes. But you're going to either have to let it be reinstated or you're going to have to take me to court. And they've always backed off from that. But it takes 3 days for it to be restored to my channel. You won't be able to see it for 3 days. And it just wasn't worth the fight this time. Generally, I fight it. It just wasn't this time. So I said, all right, well, you know what? We'll take the clip out, and the music people will make money from it. Everybody wins. Question about ships. Do you like the Discovery from the Reveal trailer or the one we were in the show? I prefer the older design, but I'm still curious. It didn't bother me one way or the other. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people got upset about the original. The thing is the Discovery, I don't like nor hate it. What is it? Is it a cross-filled class? I think it's the cross-filled. Oh, I can't just write cross-filled and expect something. Yeah, the cross-filled class has never really intrigued me. I don't find it all that interesting. I'll do a breakdown. I'll do a breakdown on it from time to time once I get more information on it, but I just never really liked or disliked the cross-filled. It didn't intrigue me. I disagree. I think if the reason the synths did what they did was unrelated to the Romulans, it would highlight the problems the Federation is having post Golden Age and Dominion War. I just think that it's shock value for shock value, and I don't like that. I just think that if they go that route, they're just going to do it because, oh, hey, look at this superstar. We made it look like the Romulans, but it was never the Romulans the whole time. I wouldn't say it's lazy. I would just say that it's uninspired. Did you have also a license problem with using pictures in your videos? No, still images they've never given me guff about because first off, the system doesn't catch that. But beyond that, I got a real strong case for images. Generally, it's only when I show the film that they think that they have even half a case. And they have a better case with me using the actual footage than just using a picture. I hate the freaking Magie class. I think the Magie class is the only one well, not the only one, but is one of the ones I like. Let me see. Oh, no, the Magie. Yeah, that's one of them I don't hate or love either. It looks more the original series to me, but what about the droid attack on the Wookiees? What about the droid attack on the Wookiees, Bruno? What would you like to know, good friend? By the way, guys, if you're watching this, 56 people have liked it. 108 are watching. Hit that like button. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. What about the synth attack? We've talked about that, Nitpicking Nerd. What specifically you want to go? The Men of Iron revolted. They revolted due to, we're guessing the Romulans. They destroyed themselves so no one could find. Episode 3 is tomorrow. I'll be doing a live stream on that. Are you glad Starfleet has been affected by the wars like you wanted? Not quite a civil war yet, but it seems like it's on its way. We discussed this at the beginning, good old gamer, I think. You say it like I wanted. I think that it's the natural progression and the only realistic way the story could go. I also think it's interesting. I also think it's intriguing. And I think that, things have to adapt, and they have to adapt in this way. That's probably why I am a lot more sympathetic with the writers. I think this is natural. Anything else is unrealistic. To go back to an Orville type show, to go back to a Generations show, I'm sorry. If that's what you think is what it's supposed to be, then you cannot simultaneously get upset about Discovery continuity and say Picard should be the next generation or Orville. You cannot. It is as unrealistic. If the Orville had been what if Picard had been what the Orville is, then it would have been the most unrealistic, the most continuity breaking piece of tripe you have ever seen. And if you're going to say that you like that, then you cannot by definition, cannot be upset about continuity breaks in Discovery. You just can't. And if you are, you're what's the word I'm looking for? You are wanting your cake and wanting to eat it too. And that's just hypocritical. It just is. Did anyone watch the DS9 documentary? Did you guys like the hypothetical DS9 season 8? I did watch the documentary. I did not like season 8. I think season 8 was packed full of really bad ideas, in my opinion. With all the synth hate, Picard seems like writers wanted to give it a bit of a Blade Runner vibe. I could see a Blade Runner vibe. I could see that. I could agree with that. The Magi class looks like an older version of the Defiant, to me, but none of the good stuff. I just think the original series. I think the original. It looks original series to me. It's the closest to original series, in my opinion. I think Starfleet is too gullible. Something moderator has added this. I love how they're like, moderator has added this comment and won't let me see the comment, but the moderator added it. In every situation, when they get a balls to the walls, back to the walls, they blink. I agree. Starfleet is like that. There's a DS9 doc. There is. It's called What We Left Behind. Now, the more I've watched it a couple of times, the more I watch it, the less I think. The interesting thing about documentaries is documentary is just there's no hard and set rules for documentaries. In theory, you don't even have to be honest in a documentary. Not to say that not Behind the Lines, that was a series I did. Not to say What We Left Behind wasn't honest, but that's just overall documentaries don't have to be honest. I was amazed to learn that. What We Left Behind really was, I'd say it was more like a swan song or more of a reminiscing than a documentary. And they really, really heavily tried to retcon some stuff. They tried to retcon some stuff that is objectively inaccurate. Season 8, I'll give you spoilers for what they wanted season 8. They wanted Bajorans. They wanted quite a bit. So at the end of the day, what they had was Bajorans were having a secret army of Jem'Hadar that now believed in the prophets. Sisko ultimately returns. They kill off a major character, and Bashir becomes head of Section 31. Shock for shock value, I would need to really see the series to give it a chance, but on spec does not feel like good writing. But that's just me. Maybe they did it well. I hate that they closed the name Plastic Person. That started the Cascade FB. It was kind of dumb. I hate that they chose to name the Plastic Person. Oh, F8. You hate that they named him F8. It was an attempt to be clever. I didn't hate that. Is Starfleet collapsing because of losing most of its fleet and losing 12 planets, getting out of the Federation? The 12 planets didn't leave the Federation. They did lose a major shipyard, and that caused political repercussions that I think would be problematic. So I think they're going to try to turn it into Discovery or try to justify Discovery. So I think that we will be seeing the end of Starfleet. I could be wrong. Could we see Future Guy from Enterprise in Star Trek Discovery Season 3? Or was he wiped from the timeline? I don't think they'll bring him back. I don't think he was wiped from the timeline, but I don't think they'll bring him back. Is Starfleet... Oh, I already asked that. Michael Burnham could be Future Guy. That would be horrific. Michael... I'll tell you, Future Guy needs to be Archer. 14 planets didn't pull out, though. They threatened to pull out, and that's why they stopped. But the planets, unless I am misremembering, which is highly possible, but my understanding is they threatened to pull out, but they didn't. Kind of like me. Hey. I can see a cabal of Bajoran religious zealots using Dominion tech to build a terrorist army, but not the main government. Maybe. Uh, maybe I could see that. But again, I don't think season 8 was ever a good idea. I don't think they were ever really going to uh, go anywhere positive with it. I sorry, give me 1 second, guys. They did threaten. Season 8, I just don't think they were going to go anywhere positive with. I don't think there's it would have been as dark as Discovery, and given that they were trying to so hard retcon what occurred in the previous seasons, I can't trust that it would be anything good. The Trek novelverse had a good storyline of a member world leaving the Federation, Andor, and later returning to the fold, and the political fallout of the action. Yeah, that was I'm reading that series right now. That is Typhoon Pact, however the fuck you say it. Hello, Mr. Lore. Glad to finally catch a live stream. Thanks for the hours of quality content. Thank you, Sherbetza. Thank you. What you leave behind ended on a solid note for all characters, and season 8 would have killed that. You mean the last episode? Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. I completely concur with that. I think the Bajoran Cabal would have been more likely in the first 2 seasons of DS9. By season 7, the people were more unified. Yeah. You know what's interesting? It was like space Brexit. I always assumed Bajor had joined Starfleet, but they never did. So you want to know how Ira, the writer of DS9, someone who I think is epically wonderful and a great writer, they did this in the documentary. Do you want to know how they wanted to end it? You ready? And you know who saved it was Berman, of all people. He wanted to end it with it all having been a television series. That one of the characters that they had brought up in a one-off episode had written it, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine in universe was just a television series. That would have destroyed. What was I saying? And hold on, I'm about to destroy you, Jwumped. Just give it a second. Man, that completely sidelined me. What the hell was I talking about? I was saying, I don't know. So here's what happened, Jwumped. Here's what happened, good sir. Because only 97% actually came back. Remember, there was a little bit of issues. There was a little bit of issue with the transporter and bringing him back. So not all of Scotty came back. So what actually happened is he continued to age because of that. It wasn't able to preserve him exactly, so he aged that way. So yeah, take it, Jwumped. Defeated. If I lived in the 24th century, I'd love to own a Maquis Raider. Who wouldn't? Except for they blow up. They blow up to hell and back all the time. Benny imagined Deep Space Nine. Thank you. Yeah, the entire thing was a television series, and it was all in Benny's head. Didn't Ira want Kira and Dukat to be a couple in DS9 show? I don't think so. The actual actor for Dukat, I forget his name right now, wanted them to be it, but Kira was absolutely against it. Kira's actress was absolutely against it. I don't think Ira ever wanted to. Ira is the one with the blue goatee, correct. I think he changes the color of it every so often, but last time I saw, I believe it was blue as well. Did they bring that up in the episode? Did they bring what up in the episode? How come every mutineer in Starfleet is named Michael? Michael Eddington, Michael Jonas from Voyager, and Burnham. Well, I mean, you can never trust a Michael. That's just the truth. Well, in a DS9 episode, Avery Brooks was being Space Jesus in a mental patient. Yeah, I know. It's from Benny or whatever. But yeah, that's what they wanted to do. What are those 3 people disliking the video? Either that or people who don't understand nuance and get upset when I say something they don't like or assume it's against something. Or jealous channels, one or the other. 102 people watching, only 68 likes. Hit that like button, people. Okay, so don't hate me, but I love Discovery and Picard and have been watching Trek since 1989 when TNG first premiered on BBC 2 in the UK, but I also would love to see DS9 CS8. Well, Peter, Merrick, I would never get mad at somebody who apparently has brain deficiencies. Buddy, I hope you get help. Why would I be mad at you? I want you to be better. Go see a doctor, buddy. I can't be mad at you. I'm just kidding. Calm down, Peter. If you like all of it, good for you. I've always said that. I mean, I honestly, again, I think you can subjectively and objectively show how Discovery is bad. There are objective good things to it, and subjective doesn't matter in the end. But if you like all of it or you enjoy all of it, then there's nothing wrong with that. What's going on, Carlos? I'm glad you can enjoy it. It's just whatever. We can disagree. What about Michael Vsauce? You can't trust him? I don't even know who Michael Vsauce is. Are questions content containing spoilers kosher in chat? Not for Picard. If you'll save that for tomorrow, I'll be doing a spoiler breakdown, and we can discuss it then if you want to. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter at this point. Just put spoilers at the beginning of it, because it's been about a week. People should have watched it. Terry was about to tell something interesting about Rick Berman, but her interview was cut off. Okay. Ships blowing up except for plot. If they put the name Enterprise on an Oberth, the universe would collapse in on itself. That is true. What did you think about the Paul Wraiths arc? I think that at the end of the day, the Paul Wraiths and the Prophets were fighting a proxy war, and the entirety of the Dominion War itself was so that the Prophets could win and ultimately destroy all of the Paul Wraiths. And I think they saw this because they're not just in linear time, they're timey-wimey. Because of the wormhole they created, I think the Paul Wraiths probably couldn't see the future, and I think all of the death and everything is related to the Prophets. And I intend to do a video on it at the end of the day. I think that disagreeing about things is one thing, but you must be respectful. What do you think? I think that's a little more nuanced, Captain Trek. It depends on what you say is... It depends on what you say is respectful. For instance, if you said that you liked... For instance, if me saying that Michael Burnham being a Mary Sue and pandering to the left is insulting and unrealistic, if you think that that is not being respectful, then I think we're going to have an issue. If you mean me saying that you're an idiot for liking Discovery, if that's your level of disrespect, then I would agree with you. I think the way I've always looked at it is people will initially get a base level of respect, tentatively. And then based on our interactions and how you treat me is going to be the way I respond. So generally, I think everyone deserves respect. Gold is hot actor Mark Alamo and Kira Nerys actor Nana Visitor. Yes, I'm aware of their names. I just, for the life of me, forget them from time to time. Are the Prophets really that powerful? I don't know if other super aliens like Q would allow the Prophets to go unchallenged. Why would the Q care? Why do the Q care if the Prophets are using them like chess pieces? Why would they care? Why wouldn't they do a remaster for DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise? Probably because it costs an S ton of money, and they probably, at this point, wouldn't get a return on their investment, if I had to guess. But I could be wrong on that. I could absolutely be incorrect. By the way, guys, if you're watching this and you enjoy it, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/LoreReloaded. You can fund your own lovely projects that you want to see come up first. As always, you can do super chats, or if you don't like Patreon, you can become a member by hitting the join button. All of these things ensure that I can keep 2 small humans alive, as well as woo potential mates. And who doesn't want that for me? I mean, come on. Sup, Lore? The stream feels apt considering what I was dealing with last night on Twitter. In my opinion, each to their own, but I'll defend my opinion. What's going on, English Gent? Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Me and him are Twitter friends. And talk on Twitter. Yeah, I think people are insulting on both sides. You know, if you think that your side is the best or is the most virtuous, then you're wrong, because both sides have trolls that are epically annoying and insulting. I think they're insulting in different ways, and I will say I think the Fandom Menace has the most vitriolic of the two, but both sides can get pretty bad, in my opinion. No one minds saying effing in Picard then? I didn't like it. I thought it was bad writing. I think it's a move away from good Trek writing, in my opinion. I'm not a small human. Don't sell myself short. No, I'm talking to... Thanks, good old gamer. I appreciate that. Obviously, I was talking about the 2 small female humans that I take care of. I gotta go, guys. Take it easy. Talk to you later, Dragon. Thanks for coming by. It's easier to remaster TV shows depending on the type of film that was... I got no idea, Dan23. You know, maybe. I'll admit that is one of the things that I am weak on. I don't know how you would remaster film. I have no idea. There's probably an alternate universe where Picard is mauled by his... Well, actually, interestingly enough, Star Trek believes in hypertime. Hypertime is whatever would happen, does happen. So, for instance, as an example of hypertime... There is a timeline where I take this phone and I throw it out my window, which then hits my neighbor, who gets so mad they go off and cause rebellion, destroying the United States of America. That actually happened. Now, this timeline, what happened is I just hold this phone in my hand. I take a look at it to see if there's a text message from an extremely attractive woman. And maybe there is, and maybe there isn't. I guess you'll never know. But in one timeline, there actually was an exceptionally beautiful person. In another timeline, there wasn't. That's just sad. And in an alternate timeline, it was R. McDudd who somehow got my phone number and was sending me lewds, which is not appropriate, R. McDudd. But that is how actual hypertime works. And it is intriguing to think about. The dialogue in Picard and Discovery is too contemporary. It's not like the dialogue in older Trek. Yeah, but the thing is, Jeff Franklin, the dialogue in older Trek was, wait for it, contemporary for its time. So can we really get mad at them staying contemporary? Talk to George Lucas about remastering films. I don't... Okay. I don't know. I mean, okay, that's fantastic. Whatever, they should remaster it then. Even if it was cheaper, I still don't think they'd make their money back. I just don't. I don't like that, but, you know, I don't. I was hyped about the way Season 2 of Discovery ended because of the jump forward in time. It's been a lot of prequel reboots for a while now. Yeah, they at least listened to that. The jump and the retconning of how it never existed doesn't make any sense. There's no way they would be able to keep that secret. Absolutely no way. So ending made no sense. But I'll say this. It was a good ending for the series. For the season. It was a good series episode. A good season ender. In continuity, when you actually think about it, makes no sense. Carlos, as you can tell, I get a lot of stuff, so don't take it like personally if I don't answer your question. I sincerely try to talk to everybody. You say Discovery deserves love. What is the message does it convey? You you say Discovery deserves love? What is the message does it convey? I have never said Discovery deserves love. That is either I miscommunicated or you misunderstood. At no point do I think Discovery deserves love. The message conveyed by Discovery is that the people who are diverse will try to inflict their will upon you. When you resist, they'll make you look like the bad guy. Apparently, there is one human in all of Starfleet that can do everybody else's job, can fight better than God himself, and somehow has all of these flaws and yet is so super awesome. Additionally, Starfleet in the original series timeline is okay with committing absolute genocide of the Klingons. No, there is no love for me for Discovery. I do not like the plot lines or the arcs. There were some individual episodes, but Discovery is probably the most horrific writing in Star Trek, if not all of science fiction. So I'm not sure if I was, and I'm not meaning that mad. I'm not mad or anything. I'm just saying that's my opinion on it. Going to be ending it pretty shortly, guys. I'll probably come back though. Could the Discovery survive in the Delta Quadrant without the Spore Drive? Absolutely not. No, they don't have enough people. The ship isn't outfitted well enough, and they wouldn't be able to have enough reserves. I would have had less issue with the combat shuttles in the Discovery. Yeah, that's the fucking combat. Oh man, I mean, how were they like transporting them from Earth? Where did all of these like starfighters come from? Don't get me wrong. There is no love for Discovery. I do not enjoy it. It is some of the worst writing. When you add the Star Trek skin to it, let me put it that way, it is some of the worst writing that I have seen from a Star Trek continuity standpoint. It also is bad writing when you're trying to make him the main character. They Mary Sue'd the living hell out of her. I don't like using the term Mary Sue, but they really wrote her pretty badly in my opinion. Yeah, I don't get anything out. Now, that said, if you like Discovery, see, that's the thing. If you like Discovery, if you thought it gave a great message, Jessica Gender. Is it Jessica Gender? Oh my God. I talked to her on a fucking daily basis. Where's my mind and brain? Jessie Gender. There we go. Oh my God. I'm literally going insane in front of you guys. Jessie Gender loves Discovery. I don't see it, but if she enjoys it, whatever. Oof. Question is, what's worse, Star Trek Discovery or Starship Troopers sequel? Star Trek Discovery, hands down. Starship Troopers got bad, but ugh. Starship Troopers went way too preaching on religion. Even as a Christian at the time, I had an issue. I mean, TNG DS9 Voyager shuttles usually had some weapons, but I'm not sure how viable they'd be as proper attack craft. It's not that they had attack craft. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. It's the fact that 700,000 million gazillion attack craft come out of a ship that originally could only hold 2 shuttles. They had 600 million billion quadrillion. They had, again, more shuttles than God. If God exists, if the Judeo-Christian God exists, he literally could not make as many shuttles as they put in Star Trek Discovery. That is his limitation. It would destroy him to try to do that. If you want to kill God, try to make the Judeo-Christian God make that many shuttles come out of a ship. It is worse than Doctor Who. So, for those of you who watch Doctor Who, you remember the episode when they had Tennant as the Doctor, and it was the episode where where Rose and Tennant are completely shut off forever. And they had the prison for the Daleks. And they were trying to open it. They couldn't figure out what it was. And then at the last minute, they realized it was a prison. And Daleks started coming out of this small box. There were less Daleks in that than there was in the Enterprise. So yes, I mean, I'm pretty relaxed. But if you want to get me if you want to get me hyped up, I can talk about what I dislike about Discovery forever. What does God need with a shuttle? Indeed. Well, that's just crass, Welsh. That's crash. Given what we know about how bad Discovery is, can we replicate dilithium? Yeah, don't even... Oh, man. Oh, man. I don't even want to talk about it. All right. I mean, again, I know you guys do this on purpose. I know you like getting me upset because God forbid that, I live longer. Coming to CBS All Access in fall 2020, Star Trek Shuttle. Indeed. Why would they put their main ship construction facility on the ground? So Utopia Planitia, I think it was both on the ground and in space. They destroyed both. I don't think that's an accurate way of looking at it. All right, guys, I think for now, I'm going to turn it off for a little bit. No video coming out today. There'll be a video tomorrow. I did a short film and lost 4 hours of footage and then had to redo it all. And so that really set me behind. But I'm going to try to do a couple more live streams and then a video tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back in a little while. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Guys, I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.